Hi guys, I am so excited for you to see this video. So a little background, I have a client who came to me once in a while and she's always had problems with peeling nails. Even if we did shellac, the shellac would not even last more than like 10 days because the nails would peel and basically they would take the shellac with it. So when it comes to peeling nails, I do not recommend wearing shellac because this is what happens and it causes even more damage. So now she just texted me and she said her nails are perfect, no peeling whatsoever anymore. So how did we get there? Well, I documented the whole process and I think this video is going to be extremely important. So please bear with me because all the information that I'm going to share with you is kind of a new information and in the way that I'm going to put it, and it's going to be extremely helpful if you are dealing with nail surface damage, because very often people deal with the nail surface damage incorrectly and they cause even more damage and it becomes a vicious circle. So this client had shellac done for Christmas and after Christmas we removed it. So I figured, you know what, let's try this OPI Repair Mode because a lot of people at that time were asking me what I think about it. And I thought this is a perfect opportunity for me to see how this product really works for peeling nails, because peeling nails are very difficult to treat, and especially that her nails are quite hard. So they were brittle and peeling, which is a little bit different. I will put all the videos in the playlist if you want to see them one after the other one as well. So we decided to try the OPI Repair Mode and I offered to her that I would be doing her manicures for free every week if she followed the simple routine that I gave her, and she would use the OPI Repair Mode, which she purchased, and we would see how long it takes for the product to work, because OPI claims that it repairs 99% of keratin in like 7 days or something. So I really wanted to put that product to the test. So spoiler alert, in a week, the nails looked actually worse, which is a very important thing to notice. So this is how her nails looked after a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and finally 5 weeks. There was one very important thing to remember and to really understand it, that progress is not always linear. And very often to untrained eye, the nails might look worse before they actually look better. And you just have to trust the process and just keep going. So I always talk about my routine. So basically, if you like wearing nail polish all the time, because many people do, I always recommend wearing nail polish for no longer than 5 days, taking off the polish, having bare nails for 1 to 2 days, using a treatment, doing warm jojoba soak, doing a manicure, and then reapplying polish. But it's not so simple because really there are 2 routines, and I'm going to talk about this because it's so important. So what happens sometimes is that when you take the nail polish off, the nails just fall apart. And why? And this is why people believe that nail polish protects the nails. I don't believe that. So what happens is nail polish, when you wear it over a long period of time, eventually can actually damage the surface of the nail. So it can cause surface damage. So that happens very gradually. And then people think that they just are having issues with their nails, but they don't put 2 and 2 together. So then over time, they actually have to wear the protective nail polish in order for the nails not to fall apart. So basically the way I think about it is that very often the long nails that people are able to grow are only able to grow them because they have the polish protecting them. But when they take the polish off, the nails fall apart because the nails were on like a life support. So the nail polish was like the life support, but when you take it off, the nails would break. But unfortunately, the nails get worse and worse and worse. They start getting peeling very often, major surface damage, and the polish doesn't even last. So what I recommend in that case, when the nails are damaged, so now I have 2 routines now. 1 routine for damaged nails, so treating damage and growing it out, and the maintenance routine, so the routine for healthy nails, so to prevent nail surface damage. So the routine that I always talked about, the 5 days on, 2 days off, only works for people with healthy nails. So now let's quickly talk about the routine for damaged nails. So treating the damage and growing it out. it's a tough one because very often I see people with major surface damage and it takes months for it to grow out. And the reason why I don't recommend wearing nail polish is because instead of the nails growing out healthy, the nail polish causes additional surface damage on the new growth. So what I recommend is wearing no nail polish for as long as the nails are damaged. So doing the warm oil soaks once a week, using some sort of treatment, usually the Isden pen, sometimes the OPI Repair Mode. There are a few other treatments that maybe I'll put in the description box, but basically using treatments that are polish free to treat the nails, to condition them so they can grow out undamaged. Once the nails are undamaged, then you can follow the routine for healthy nails, because the routine for healthy nails is basically going one step forward with the routine and then one step back wearing the nail polish, because the nail polish is never good for the nails. And more on that a little bit later. And the routine for damaged nails. So basically when your nails are damaged, that one step forward, one step back is not leading you anywhere, right? Like you still will have the surface damage. So what we need to do is we have to stop wearing nail polish and treat the nails as much as we can. So then you're just going forward. And then once the nails are healthy, then you maintain the health with the maintenance routine, going one step forward and one step back. And why do I believe the nail polish is actually not beneficial for the nails? Well, from my experience, and I overanalyze everything and I overthink everything, and I've been working in the nail industry for over 25 years, and I've seen a lot of feet, I've seen a lot of hands, and I never see nails improving when someone uses nail polish all the time. You can see it especially on feet. The nails are growing out nice and healthy, usually during the winter when people are not wearing any nail polish, and they can get quite damaged over the summer when they're wearing nail polish. So very often the acetone gets blamed, but it's not the acetone. I'll link a very important video in the description below. Check it out, your mind will be blown. So very important thing to remember is this. I do not poo-poo on the nail polish. I love nail polish. I love wearing it. Mind you, I wear usually a clear coat, but I absolutely love it. In my opinion, nail polish is like a dessert. And it doesn't matter how many vitamins are in it or some amazing treatments, it's still a nail polish. Just like, you know, a cheesecake, just because it has cottage cheese in it, it's not really a protein source. It's still a cheesecake that's full of sugar and, you know, fat and whatever. Carrot cake, it doesn't matter that it has a carrot, it's still a carrot cake. Desserts are wonderful. I love desserts. I love sweets. But I'm not gonna fool myself thinking that these desserts are actually beneficial for my health. They're not. So is there a way to incorporate these desserts in someone's life? Of course, just have them in moderation. Once you understand that, and once you apply that to a nail polish, suddenly everything makes sense. So basically, yes, if you are having issues, let's say if you're having health issues or something and you cannot have any sweets and desserts, well, don't have it until maybe you correct those health issues, right? If you're healthy, you definitely can enjoy some desserts once in a while. Just have them in moderation. And for each person, that moderation is going to be different. Because I know people that have very healthy nails, super hard, thick, strong nails. They can wear nail polish forever and they never have surface damage. But I also have seen, this is rare, unfortunately, but I've also had clients that they experience surface damage after wearing nail polish for one time for 2 weeks. So for each person, it might be a little bit different. And then you just have to adjust how long you're wearing the nail polish and how many days you have off to maintain the health. If you're seeing some surface damage, back it up. Start using a little bit more treatments, do warm oil soaks, stop wearing nail polish for a little bit, and that damage is just going to grow out. Another very important thing, I get that a lot. Can you heal the nails? You cannot. You can treat them, you can condition them, you can support the growth. So basically you can prevent further damage, but you cannot heal the nails. And why? Because nails are dead. So you can't nourish the nails. And I know so many of those companies, they're like, oh, they have nourishing vitamins, blah, blah, hydrating. No, nails cannot eat. They are dead, just like hair. Hair is dead. You cannot You cannot nourish your hair. Yes, you can condition, you can definitely do a lot of good to the hair, but you cannot nourish it. You can nourish it from the inside. So basically, if you're eating well, if you're healthy, the new growth is going to be maybe healthier. But if the bad look of your hair comes from just hair being overprocessed, so bleaching, too much hair color, no matter how good you eat, the hair is going to be damaged until it grows out. And it's the same thing with the nails. So the most important thing is to have patience, and to just keep trusting the process. Let's go back to the client and her manicure with me. So I hope you enjoyed the video. And by the way, I'm going to put together some kind of like an information booklet or something with the details about the two routines that I recommend. So the routine for healthy nails and the routine for damaged nails. Okay, so I'm going to put later on that information in the description box. So if you're interested, please check out the description box. Okay, thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye. Okay, guys, we have a win. We have a win after 5 weeks of gentle care. So we started 6 weeks ago. The client came in for shellac removal and I did a manicure, and then I used this product. And a week later, she got this product and started using it consistently. So I have a whole process recorded. So I will link the first video and the other videos in the description box. So today, finally, we're going to do a color. So we're gonna do my favorite Stardust, and underneath, pink is up, and don't be scared, it's not going to be as pink. It's a very nice sheer color, so her nails are going to show very nice through the color. But let's just talk about the nails. So this one, the skin around the nails is great. This is, by the way, the client was asking me, this is a little bit a white pocket, but this is not on the surface. I can feel it when I'm running the stick. It's nothing to do with the surface, it's inside the nail. This is quite common, it happens, and it's usually due to some kind of a trauma, sometimes hitting the finger here, and then the nail cells not bonding properly, and it's almost like a little blister, so it's like the layers are a little bit separated, not a big deal. Sometimes when this grows out, you can almost see at the end that the layers are a little bit separated. Again, not a big deal whatsoever. This is not a deficiency of any kind. Now you can see this. My client was also commenting how the texture of this nail is different here. So this is the new growth and it's different here. So you can actually see from the side that this is a little bit thicker and this is a little bit thinner. So this is the damaged part. So it's important to understand that nails cannot grow from the bottom up. They have to grow out from here down. So that's why it takes such a long time, because skin heals from the bottom up. It takes, depending on how deep the trauma or the trauma is, from a few days to a few weeks, but the nail just has to grow out. So that's why we have to have so much patience. And that is what very often people are lacking, unfortunately, and they think that they're doing something wrong. Meanwhile, they're doing everything right. It just takes time. So you see, this is nice growth, no peeling, and just a tiny bit of peeling, but we're going to take care of it today. Cool. I'm so excited. Very nice. Okay, so I'm going to do the usual dry manicure, and then we're going to do the polish application. It's a good idea to, when you have a new file, to score it a little bit. You can actually do it with a buffer block. Use like an old buffer block. And you can do this just so you don't cut yourself. Some files can be quite sharp when they're new. Actually, it's better to do it with a block. Actually, I forgot. Before we start, I'm going to just wipe the nails with alcohol, and I'm going to reapply the OPI Repair Mode at the beginning of the manicure. So if you are facing damaged nails, let's say even sometimes from extensive nail polish use, it is best to just let them grow out, and sometimes they get worse before they get better. That's normal. And then starting this routine once the nails are better. So the routine that I find is very effective, and a lot of my viewers find very effective, is to wear the nail polish for not longer than 5-6 days. Take the polish off, do apply some kind of treatment, but polish-free treatment. So some kind of like a liquid. And then do, let's say 10 minutes later, do warm oil soak. Keep applying oil after each hand wash. You should be doing that anyway. And leaving the nails bare for a couple days. And then repolishing 2 days later. So I'm going to do 2 coats of this. Because the thing is, even let's say if you are following this maintenance routine, I'm going to call it actually maintenance routine. So taking the couple days off, doing the treatment, and wearing nail polish, you're almost going like 2 steps forward and 2 steps back, and you're not really winning. So it's better to let the nails grow out, and yes, it's a painful and long process sometimes, but I think long term it's going to be much more effective, because then you get ahead of the problem and you can prevent the problems from happening. Because wearing nail polish all the time, as much as the nail polish companies are telling you, it's not beneficial to the nails. It's a good decoration, and I mean, I'm the first one to say I absolutely love nail polish. I love wearing it, but I wear it for the look, for the decoration, not for the health of my nails. For the health of my nails, I take the polish off, I do warm oil soak, warm jojoba soak, I should be saying, and I apply treatments. That's what it's done for the health of the nails from the cosmetic perspective, obviously, because we're talking about cosmetics here. We're not talking about just general health and everything else, because nails, for sure, they are a reflection sometimes of your health, but people too quickly, they just jumped to conclusions thinking, and I mean, I've seen it over and over and over again, where people just have clearly damaged nails, but they think it's some kind of vitamin deficiency. No, it's not. Usually it is either excessive water exposure, not taking care of their nails properly. That's like thinking, okay, you have, let's say, even genetically very dry skin, but using a dish detergent to wash your face every single day, never using creams, and using creams maybe like once a month, thinking that that's going to fix your skin. No, you have to use very gentle cleansers. And if you have dry skin or sensitive skin, and protect it, right? Protect it from even UV, protect it from elements. You have to eat well, obviously, but you have to be very consistent with your care, because applying cream once a month is not going to make a big difference. So same thing with nails. Applying oil twice a week is not going to make a difference. That's like exercising twice a year. I wish that worked, but unfortunately, no, you have to be consistent. You have to do it on a regular basis. So this is how you get the nails better, and then nail polish stays so much better on the nails that are healthy because it has a good foundation. It has something to stick to. Nail polish doesn't really stick to very unstable, so really like bendy and damaged surface. It also sticks better to the top layers of the nail. So the nail is not made the same. It's not all the layers. Let's say on average, they say nails have about 100 layers. So all the layers are not the same. They're not made the same. The 30%, the top layer that we see here, is the protective layer. So if we remove that layer by buffing, peeling off products, then the nail has like no protection. So that protection has to grow out. And to a degree, yes, we can condition the nails with oils, with the treatments that I'm talking about, but we can't really rebuild the missing keratin layers. We can't. It's just not possible. And even OPI, they kind of say it repairs 99% of the keratin damage. But if you don't have, so if you have maybe damaged keratin, it can fix it. That's kind of questionable because it says up to. So 70% or 20 is up to as well. But anyway, but it can't replace, it can't rebuild the missing keratin. That's why we have to be so careful and gentle with the nails, because we don't want to be stripping the nails from that protective layer. And once the nail is damaged, it's damaged. You can't feed it back to health. You can't resuscitate it. You can't. And I know a lot of companies, they sell these miracle products that are supposed to nourish your nails. You cannot nourish a nail because a nail is dead. You cannot nourish something that is dead. You can condition, definitely. It's like wood. When the wood is cut, you can't nourish it. You can condition it. Yes, you can put oil in order to protect the wood from further damage, but you can't nourish it. You can only nourish it when it's still living. So you can actually nourish the nail by eating well and doing all that stuff when the nail is actually being produced here. But once the nail passes this area, actually, it's already made. It's too late to nourish it. But it's definitely not too late to condition it, so basically. All right, so now I'm just nudging the skin fold, which kind of exposes the cuticle. And the cuticle is barely visible, it's on the nail here, but we definitely want the nail polish to stick well, and the polish is going to stick very well to a clean nail, but not to dead skin cells here. So this is the reason why we want to remove the cuticle. And this area is very often confused. I would say, sadly, 99% of the industry even calls this a cuticle. But you can't have this cuticle and this cuticle. You can't have two things called the same name. And both of these things have different purpose. So you can't have a cuticle here and here. So we're nudging back the skin fold. This always has to be done very gently. And I'm going to just now remove the cuticle. So I don't recommend anyone without specific training in electric file to be using electric file. I've been using it for, you know what, 25 years now, almost. Because I think I did a training in 2000. So it's 2024 right now. So 24 years of using electric file. I absolutely love it, and I love it for the detail, but you really have to develop a good hand in order to use it without causing any damage. And I know this looks really cool. This looks like it's easy because, you know, once someone is good at something, they make it look very easy. You know, like when you look at, when you see people dance, they make it look so easy. You try to do the same thing, and it's, I'm speaking about myself, it's actually funny looking. So it just only looks easy, and you think you can repeat it, but it's not so easy. I also get many questions about using oil when your nails are painted, if that makes sense. And absolutely yes, it does. And I have actually feeling that it actually improves the wear of the nail polish if you're using a good quality oil. And another question I'm getting a lot, castor oil. Everybody's asking about castor oil. Is castor oil good? You know, the marketing is funny because they kind of make some of the ingredients or something like really famous, and all of a sudden people think that castor oil is good for everything, for, I don't know, everything, for skin, for hair, for lashes, for everything. But castor oil is not very good for the purpose of plasticizing the nails, because in order to plasticize the nails actually has a very tight structure. So you can think of the nail as a net. So it's a very tight net. So we need a product that has a smaller molecule so it can actually absorb into the nail plate and plasticize it. So the cells or the layers, they can slide against each other without breaking, okay? But when you have castor oil, it's not a very penetrating oil. So it's just going to sit on the surface. So it's not bad when something sits on the surface either, but it does not. So it's probably good for the skin. But it's not going to plasticize the nail. It's not going to absorb into the nail plate. So if you want to test an oil, if it's good for the nails, just put some on your hand and see how quickly it absorbs. So we want something that absorbs very quickly. And the warm oil soaks, for example, the heat helps the oil to penetrate. So it just goes deeper over time, deeper and deeper into the layers. And then it's much more difficult for that oil to just come out with just simple hand washing. So this is why we do it. So it's not really that the castor oil is bad or anything, or useless. It's just for that purpose, it's not very helpful. And let's not forget that oils have antioxidants. And I think nail polish, from an article that I'm going to link below, and if you guys are into science and stuff, or if I have a scientist watching this, because I'm definitely not a scientist, if you can just read that article and tell me what you think, because it suggests that nail polish can very quickly oxidize the keratin in a nail plate. So, but that can be prevented to a degree by using an antioxidant before, I guess. So this is interesting because I think I see less damage when people are using oil consistently. So oils are not for hydration because they are also antioxidant. They have antioxidants. So maybe that's why the oils are helpful to prevent nail surface damage as well. So oil is not only good for the nail plate, but it's very good for the skin around the nails as well, because we want to care for the skin around our nails. And it actually can plasticize the nail polish, so the nail polish does not chip and break as quickly. And possibly, if you're just wearing one coat of nail polish, I find, like me, if I wear just one coat of nail polish, I don't know, possibly the proper oil can penetrate slowly through that one thin coat of nail polish and still benefit the nails. Now, if you are wearing 6 coats of nail polish and like very thick coats, then probably that's not going to happen. But I find when clients are wearing just one coat of nail polish, it seems to be a little bit more gentle on the nails than wearing multiple coats. That's just my experience. This is such an important step. It makes the nails feel so much better, because sometimes even when you're filing with a gentle file, with a very fine file, you still have that unevenness that can catch sometimes. So what I recommend is now taking a buffer block, something that is 240 grit or 220, something like that. This is from Soft Touch, very good quality, by the way. I'm going to leave you a link in the description. And doing that makes a huge difference. And if you're interested about buffing, and you should be, I'm going to link another video in the description box, because I always say don't buff the nails, but then you see me buffing. So I know it's confusing, but I explain everything in that video. And now it's the Dazzle Dry Nail Prep. So they always say, Dazzle Dry teaches to use a different part of this wipe when you're wiping the nails, and they do that because normally when people do manicures, they use cream and oils and then they polish the nails. I do actually the opposite. I first polish the nails. That just comes from years of doing gels and things like that, because you would never put cream and then try to put the product on. So this is why I do it, so I don't have to move it so many times, because I'm actually clean nails. Okay, so the base coat has to be perfectly clear. So very often when the base coat is not used, it kind of becomes cloudy when the room gets cooler. So that's absolutely normal. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, that's the way it is. The chemistry of this product is a little different. So just make sure before you apply it that you warm it up. You can just put it in a bowl of very warm water, and in a few minutes you will have the proper consistency. And you know, I've been thinking because I overthink and I analyze everything like a crazy person. So very often I get this comment that people are saying, no, the nail polish protects the nails, because if I take the polish off, my nails fall apart. But I think this is what happens. The nail polish will definitely create a coating and it will kind of keep everything together. But at the same time, it will unfortunately damage the surface of the nail. So basically what happens is that nail is on like a life support. So it's damaged. So yes, when you uncover it, it's going to break and it's going to look worse. And you will see this when we did this client's nails. The first week, the nails actually look worse because at first we took shellac off and the nails look not so bad. So you just have to, well, you don't have to, but from my experience, I just trust the process. So sometimes the nails get worse before they get better. You just have to wait until the healthy nail grows out undamaged, and then you can go back to polishing the nails with breaks, taking care of your nails, and then you won't have as much damage as you've had before. So it's not like I'm telling you not to wear nail polish ever again. Absolutely not. Life would be really sad without nail polish and desserts. But, you know, we have to have respect for these products and not overdo them. That's my point. Now, it's very important to make sure that this coat is fully dry. So you don't want to have any shiny spots on these nails. And I've been hearing once in a while people say that Dazzle Dry damaged their nails and they never had that issue before. And I think it starts from basically people discovering the system and not really wearing nail polish for extended period of time in the past, because it just doesn't last and it takes forever to dry, so people just don't bother. And then they discover Dazzle Dry and they're like, I know, because I get DMs, people are like, oh my God, I love it so much, I wear it all the time. Okay, please don't, because eventually you are going to end up with surface damage if you wear it nonstop. That's just my experience. So again, I know it lasts 2 weeks very often, but I don't recommend. I mean, hey, once in a blue moon, you're going on vacation or something and you never polish your nails, sure, wear it for 2 weeks. Who cares? Your nails are healthy. Nothing should really happen. But if you're wearing the polish all the time, I suggest not wearing, especially if your nails are prone to surface damage, not wearing the polish for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks until it falls off, but wearing it for 5-6 days, taking it off, doing the treatments and blah blah. My maintenance routine. This is a good one, maintenance routine. And also I find wearing, and this is why I only use one coat of the base coat, because I think sometimes the damage happens more when people are wearing, for some reason, just so many coats of nail polish. And I don't know why that happens. Maybe that creates a thicker coating that flexes less, I don't know. Or it just is too strong. But I just find that wearing one layer, because again, we don't want this to last 3 weeks. I wish, guys, honestly, I wish that this was possible for an average client and they would not end up with surface damage. And this method was successful, wearing polish for 3 weeks and then redoing it here. I would be a rich woman if that was the case, but it's, in my opinion, that's just not the case. It's not something that I recommend. Okay, so this is almost dry. You want to wait until each coat is dry. And another reason why, I have lots to say today. Another reason why I think people wear multiple coats of Dazzle Dry is because Dazzle Dry, when it dries, it becomes almost like nothing. Creates a very, very thin coating. But I think to a degree, that's the beauty of the system, and that's how maybe it doesn't cause as much surface damage as other polishes can. Maybe because it is such a thin coating. So I prefer to leave it as a thin coating and do one layer of the base, 2 layers of the color, 2 or 3. Sometimes I do 3. Depending, and then top coat, and that's it. I had one person in the comment section asking me, and you know what, I read all the comments, but sometimes I kind of go overboard and I try to answer them, and then answer all of them, but then nothing else gets done. So I'm thinking maybe in my videos I can just address some of them. So I had one person ask a very good question. Why do I always say that you should use pure acetone? What does it mean? Well, pure acetone is I recommend using pure acetone to remove nail polish. So I recommend using a cosmetic acetone, obviously, because cosmetic acetone does not have impurities. So you don't want to go to a paint shop and use pure acetone, because they call it a pure acetone, but really it's never like 100% pure acetone. You can actually get acetone here in Spain, for example, from a pharmacy, and that is almost like a medical grade acetone, meaning it's very, very pure. They actually use acetone in labs, and I'm not sure exactly how they use it. So if you are a lab technician and if you use acetone, please let us know what exactly it's used for. But basically, when you wipe something with pure acetone, acetone evaporates very quickly, leaving nothing behind. So this is why I like using it, because it allows me to skip using different products, basically. So I like to be minimal. If I can avoid having multiple products doing the same thing, I do. So for removing the polish, I like to use just pure acetone, that when I wipe the nails, it doesn't leave any water, doesn't leave any oils behind, because then when I'm applying something like a treatment, it allows the treatment to penetrate a clean nail. And acetone, by the way, is not harmful to the skin, and it's not harmful to the nails. And I'm going to leave you with an article written by a chemist explaining exactly what acetone is, and the fact, basically he explains why acetone is a very safe solvent. Obviously used properly, don't drink it, but it's very safe. It doesn't damage the nails, doesn't cause allergic reactions. Our body actually makes acetone as well as a byproduct of something, but it does not damage the nails. It definitely temporarily dries the nail, dehydrates the nail, but it will not damage the nails. You can actually do a test. You can clip your nail, drop it in a bottle with acetone. You can leave it there for days, and it's not going to, or weeks, it's not going to eat through that nail. It's not going to damage it. It's not going to disintegrate the nail. Because I get those comments too. They're like, oh my God, acetone just disintegrated my nails. That's not possible. It's absolutely not possible. Something else disintegrated the nails. And actually, I wouldn't be surprised if it was even the nail polish, because again, it can damage the keratin in the nails, can oxidize it. So for some people, I've seen it, you know. The longer I'm doing this, the less cocky I am about what I know, because I was sure that nail polish cannot damage the nails. And I had this client who came to me and she's like, oh, I can't wear nail polish because my nails just get destroyed. And I was like thinking, no way, no way. So I did her manicure, very gentle manicure, used nail polish. 2 weeks later, she came in and guess what? She had damaged nails. Like her nails were literally like falling apart. Well, you know what I mean? She had some peeling and everything else, and she didn't peel the product off. She didn't chip it off. The product was still there, and her nails were not very pretty. So I do believe that some people, maybe what happens is the cells or the layers of the nail are just not bonded very strongly together. So that bond of the nail polish to that last layer of the nail is stronger than that last layer of the nail to the bottom layers of the nail. Maybe that's what happens. Plus the, oxidizing. Okay, I'm gonna leave them now for 5 minutes to dry, and I'll be right back. So it's been a little bit longer. It's been 7 minutes because we've been talking. That's okay. Talking about differences, nitrocellulose-free products and stuff. It's super interesting. I can talk about it for days. I was just saying how, because the client was asking me about shellac, and I'm like, in the ideal world, I think shellac also, it's great for some people, but it's good for people with very strong nails that are not very easily damaged. So some of my clients can wear shellac and can even peel it off and their nails are fine. But for some people, that's not the case. But I think in ideal world, I think the best solution would be to, let's say, apply shellac properly, obviously, and then have the client remove it after like 10 days or something, or even 11 days, and then do the warm oil soak, do the OPI Repair Mode, have a day or two without the shellac, and come back to have it reapplied. But it's never going to happen in a salon, because the majority of clients, I would say 99.999% of clients are just, it's difficult to remove the product properly. Look how gorgeous. Wow. Like, so nice. Yes, it's difficult because it's uncomfortable. I can do it, but that's not something that an average person can do. But you know, if you're a nail technician, for example, and if you know how to use these products properly, then I would say, and if you love wearing shellac, that's, you know, one way of doing it. So the thing is, there are no, I mean, yeah, maybe there are bad products like those removers, those burst removers, those ones are bad products. But, you know, all the products have pros and cons. They have benefits. They just have to be understood and used properly. So, because we're just saying about the nitrocellulose and how it can damage the nail plate. So people would right away kind of think, oh, it's a bad ingredient. Well, not really, because it creates a beautiful film that's very long lasting, but unfortunately, sometimes it can break down and it can cause surface damage. So if you, I mean, use nail polish that has nitrocellulose, then just don't wear it as long, and just use oils, antioxidants. I don't know, maybe that will help. If you are someone who's using a regular polish, because unfortunately Dazzle Dry is not available outside of the US, let me know how that works for you, because I know a lot of people have good results doing that, just wearing the polish for a few days, taking it off, using the oil soak, and let me know if that works better for you. It was delivery, but not for me, unfortunately. Okay, so I'm going to take some beautiful pictures of these nails, and I'm very happy. This just made my day. Thank you guys so much for watching and following. I really, really appreciate it. Bye.